Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you, especially who is watching my video. My name is Muhammad Amirul Wisdam bin Suhaimi from Bachelor of Manufacturing Engineering. Today I will show you about my assignment video from my subject, which is Engineer and Society. In this assignment, I need to identify issues related to environment and sustainability from 5 choices of sustainable development goals. Given in this task, I will explain goal number 14, which related about life in below. Now, you can see there's a river behind me that's called Kuantan River. It's clearly written Kuantan at there. Never mind. Commonly, when we talk about life in below, we must think about marine ecosystem in terms of reduce pollution and protect ecosystem from devastated. But somehow, it's interesting to talk in different side of marine ecosystem, which is fishing illegally and overfishing problem. Even though fishing can be as a hobby and also can be as a daily source of sustenance for fishermen, but somehow they cannot fishing anywhere they want to fish. This is because the United Nations Conventions of the Law of the Sea Organizations created a law and conditions whereby 2020 effectively regulate harvesting and end overfishing, illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and destructive fishing practice, and implement science-based management plans in order to restore and stocks in the shortest time feasible, at least to level that can produce maximum sustainable yield as determined by their biological characteristic.
Illegal fishing adversely impacts legitimate commercial fishers as well as fish populations. Illegal fishers avoid overhead costs such as license. The fish without the constraints accepted by illegal fishers often falsify documentation and effectively launder their ill-gotten catch. Illegal fishers' actions constitute a clear case of unfair competitions since they operate without the cost of doing business legally or the strictures of following established policies and law. Also, because illegal fishers do not report catch, their fishing activities affect the accuracy of official fish catch and stock estimates. This adversely impacts how fisheries are managed because regulatory bodies use reported catches and stock estimates to set catch limits and otherwise manage fish populations. Thus, because the real volume of fish caught is unknown, it is very difficult to effectively manage fisheries where illegal fishing is taking place. Finally, illegal fishing often causes grave environmental damage, especially when vessels use prohibited gear such as drift nets that catch non-target species, or physically damage or destroy reef, seamount, and other vulnerable marine ecosystem. It also impacts the whole ocean ecosystem by removing key species and by using destructive, forbidden practice. Illegal fishing likely impacts you in some way with its wide-ranging economic and social costs. It diverts revenue from legitimate, often developing economies, diminishes food source of abandoned coastal societies, and threatens the sustainability of fish stock. The lack of proper regulation for fishing vessels also heightens security challenge for coastal countries. Illegal fishing is an economic crime driven by a growing world demand for fish and other seafood as the globalization of the market. Some fishers skirt the law in pursuit of higher catch, taking advantage of patchy regulation of the commercial fishing industry and poor enforcement regimes at sea. So, there are 3 types of engineering solution that found in this video. At first, eyes on the seas. It uses satellite trackers, radar signals, drone image, even radio signals to create a dynamic world map. analyzed using algorithm and observations, can identify boats that appear to be illegally fishing in protected areas or pulling near each other to offload illicitly caught seafood. They can then contact national authorities with detailed evidence about where a boat is and what it appears to be doing. Eyes on the seas can spot boats even if they turn off their basic safety satellite trackers, which may be a deterrent for would-be bad actors, but confidential data used in the system means it cannot be publicly available. Meanwhile, Global Fishing Watch provides a nearly live view of fishing boats at sea around the world, but the data it used to identify boats comes almost executively from automatic identification system. Satellite trackers used in large vessels that are easily switched on and off. Rolled out earlier this year, Global Fishing Watch enable users with internet access to monitor fishing activity globally and to view individual vessel tracks, exclusive economic zones, marine protected areas, and other features. Oceania, Skytruth, and Google partnered to build this site with support from Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. The other technology that created by Environmental Defense Fund (EDF), which is Smart Boat. With this initiative, EDF aims to address the critical problem of fishing vessels and fleet remaining isolated and disconnected when at sea. For example, cameras on fishing vessels can be linked to pneumatic sensors and triggered only when fishing activity occurs. This data can then be highly compressed and transmitted wirelessly through broadband satellite or nearshore wireless data service. Artificial intelligence can also recognize species and help track catch. Scientists can access this data in near real time and make far better decisions about fishery health than ever before, and fishermen will have better access to supply chain and better information out at sea.
If we look the way of non-engineering solution, we can relate with the fishing prohibition signboard. So this place has attached with signboard where this river cannot be used as a fishing place. So this solution at least giving the warning to the public, especially newbie, to remind themselves not start fishing at this area, or there will penalties where someone must pay fine RM 500 or imprisonment not exceeding 6 months if they still break the rules. It can prevent from public to start over for fishing in this area and think twice about confinement. Besides that, the public also can cooperate with fisheries authority with contact their number to inform about illegal doing by not responsible person in order the authorities can take action properly. It can obviously see that everyone must be responsible to take care of the environment to maintain its sustainability. By doing that, it can encouraging the public to take action against the people who breaks the law.
The other non-engineering solution is global vessel identification. Although the right to fish on the high seas is given to all countries, some are unwilling or unable to enforce their regulations, providing illegal fishermen with flag of convenience. When IUU vessels are compromised, crew will often reflag or re-register their vessels to a different port state, evading law enforcement and circumventing international fishing regulations. Unique vessel identifier can be used to tag a fishing vessel with a non-transferable unique number which stays with that vessel until it is permanently taken out of the water. By eliminating the ability of vessels to hide behind a new identity, punishment for illegal fishing activities would be dramatically increased. Besides that, we can increase sport, as sport known for lax enforcement or limited inspections are prime spots for IUU fishermen to move their ill-gotten catch to market. One important way to seal this gap in the supply chain is the Port States Measure Agreement. The treaty requires parties to exert greater port controls on foreign flag vessels and as a result keep IUU catch out of the world's market, removing some of the incentive for dishonest fishing operators to continue their illegal activities. The treaty will take effect once 25 parties have ratified it. States enforcing the treaty would refuse entry or access to port service, including landing and shipment of fish to foreign flag vessels known to have engaged in IUU fishing. This vessel will be subject to immediate inspections, with the result communicated to relevant states and organizations to help enforcement efforts. As more ports shut out illegal catch, it would become costlier to get those fish to market and harder for unscrupulous operators to make a profit.
So, I want to make summarize for whole this content before we end up this video. From myself, based on learning about the importance of sustainability to environment, whether on land, air and below the water, we must take care our nature from disaster which is destroyed by human itself. Also from my case, the fishermen could find this place that allowed to fish. Meanwhile, certain places such as main river or sea should not be able to fish due that place has been made as a marine areas and resources. Otherwise, it must be protected and restore ecosystem, especially aquatic life, in order they can reproduce in 10 years more. For overall, it's important to save environment as life of living beings is completely dependent on it. Environment can be saved by planting more trees, recycling, reusing, reducing pollution, creating awareness through environment programs. Last but not least, if we want to save the environment, then we should stop the exploitation of natural resources. Using these resources cautiously is very important to save the environment. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching.